Welcome back to my YouTube channel, everyone, to another fascinating journey into the world of rare coins, where small pieces of metal can turn into treasures worth millions. And today's story revolves around one of the most surprising finds in modern coinage history, the 1986 AD 1-cent coin that shocked collectors, experts, and numismatists worldwide by being valued at an incredible $33 million because of its extraordinary errors, unique minting flaws, and historical significance that make it one of the rarest Lincoln cents ever discovered. Imagine holding a regular-looking penny in your hand, minted in Denver in 1986, and finding out it's not just worth a cent but enough to buy luxury cars, mansions, or change your life forever. That's exactly the magic of this coin and why it has captured the imagination of treasure hunters and collectors across America and beyond. To understand why this single 1986 D penny became so valuable, we have to dive deep into the process of how coins are made, the rare errors that occurred during its production, and the strange anomalies that make this coin stand out from billions of others that rolled off the mint presses that same year. The 1986 D penny was part of the Lincoln Memorial series, struck primarily in copper-plated zinc after the U.S. Mint switched from pure copper in 1982, meaning most coins from this era weigh about 2.5 grams. But the coin in question shows an unexpected weight anomaly. Some examples have been reported to weigh 3.1 grams, suggesting that a few leftover copper planchets from earlier production years may have been accidentally fed into the Denver mint presses, creating a transitional error that collectors dream about. Transitional errors like these are extremely rare, as they happen when a mint uses planchets from an older composition during the production of a new one, and these coins bridge two important phases in U.S. minting history, which makes them both historically and financially significant. But that's not the only feature that makes the 1986 D 1-cent coin so unique. There are also reports of off-center strikes, double dies, broad strikes, and even misaligned dies that cause the images and letters on the coin to appear shadowed, distorted, or slightly shifted, turning what would normally be a minor defect into a major collectible masterpiece because of how rare it is to find one in perfect uncirculated condition with such unusual characteristics. The double die error, for example, can cause Lincoln's profile or the word Liberty to appear doubled, making the design look like it's vibrating or echoing on the metal surface, a visual phenomenon that immediately catches the eye of coin experts. There are also cases where the D mint mark from Denver appears repunched, meaning it was struck twice at slightly different angles, creating a doubled appearance that numismatists classify as an RPM or repunched mint mark, a detail that can drastically raise a coin's value depending on its clarity and rarity. Additionally, certain 1986 D pennies have been found with die cracks running through Lincoln's head, shoulder, or the reverse memorial building, forming patterns collectors call the die breaks or cuds, and these raised metal lines or blobs are not defects to be dismissed but rather proof of overused or damaged dies, which makes each coin a one-of-a-kind variation that cannot be exactly replicated. What's even more intriguing is the rumor of a few experimental test strikes in 1986, where the U.S. Mint may have tested slightly different metal compositions or pressure levels during the minting process, and if any of those test strikes accidentally entered circulation, they could easily explain why some coins from that year display unusual coloration, magnetic reactions, or surface textures that differ from normal production pieces. Combine that with perfect preservation. If a coin has been kept untouched, possibly graded MS-70 or close to it by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, and the result is a truly priceless artifact. The value of the 1986 D 1-cent coin skyrocketed after several reports of unique specimens surfaced in private collections and auction houses, sparking bidding wars among high-end collectors who saw this as not just a coin, but a piece of minting history. One such coin reportedly sold for millions due to its flawless condition, strong double-die obverse, and copper-based planchet instead of zinc, leading many to nickname it the $33 million penny, a title that spread like wildfire across social media, news outlets, and YouTube channels dedicated to rare coins. Experts have debated whether the coin's value comes purely from its physical anomalies or from its story and rarity combined, since sometimes it's the tale behind a coin, the mystery of how it slipped past mint inspection and ended up in circulation, that captures the hearts of collectors as much as the errors themselves. Imagine the journey this small piece of metal must have taken, minted in Denver in 1986, perhaps mixed among millions of others, spent on candy or gas decades ago, then forgotten in a jar or drawer until someone noticed something unusual under the light, a thicker rim, a brighter color, or a design slightly off, and sent it for authentication only to discover that it was a 1 in a billion treasure. Such discoveries remind collectors that the world of coins is full of hidden gems, and that even a humble penny can hold unimaginable value if the right combination of mint errors, rarity, and condition align. Among the most discussed features of the 1986 AD-era penny are the off-metal strikes, coins that were accidentally struck on a planchet meant for a different denomination, such as a dime or foreign coin, leading to mismatched sizes or colors, a phenomenon so rare that even one confirmed example can cause headlines across the coin world. Some 1986 AD cents also display a broad strike errors, where the retaining collar failed to hold the coin in place during striking, allowing the metal to spread out and appear larger and thinner than usual. The reverse side, featuring the Lincoln Memorial, sometimes shows partial designs or weak strikes, possibly from grease-filled dies that prevented full impressions of the memorial's columns or inscriptions, giving the coin a ghost-like or faded appearance that's eerily beautiful to collectors. Other coins from this year show the obverse slightly rotated, where Lincoln's portrait and the memorial are not properly aligned when flipped, another striking error that fascinates numismatists and adds immense curiosity to any coin's backstory. All of these factors together contribute to the immense value of the 1986 AD penny, but its worth also lies in scarcity. While billions were minted, only a handful display this unique combination of weight anomaly, double die error, off-metal strike, and preserved condition, making it an elite collector's piece that could rival even the most famous coins like the 1943 copper penny or the 1955 double die. Over time, collectors have speculated about hidden hoards of unsearched rolls from the 1980s sitting in basements, waiting to reveal more of these rare gems, fueling a growing trend of people searching through their spare change in hopes of finding one of these multi-million-dollar treasures. The 1986 AD 1 cent coin isn't just a coin, it's a symbol of how history, chance, and craftsmanship can collide in a way that creates something beyond monetary value, something that tells a story of America's minting evolution, human error, and the thrill of discovery. For those who believe coin collecting is just a hobby, the story of this $33 million penny proves that it can also be a path to fortune, education, and an appreciation for the tiny details that most people overlook. Whether you're a lifelong numismatist or just someone curious about coins in your pocket, the 1986 AD penny serves as a reminder to look closer, to check the mint marks, to weigh your coins, and to examine every detail, because that small imperfection or oddity could turn out to be the key to something extraordinary. The excitement around this coin has inspired countless treasure hunts, online videos, and collector meetups, and every year, new discoveries and re-evaluations add more depth to its legend. As experts continue to analyze its metal composition, die patterns, and minting anomalies, the story of the 1986 AD penny continues to evolve, solidifying its place as one of the most intriguing and valuable coins in modern U.S. history. So, next time you come across an old penny, especially one marked with that small D from Denver, take a closer look. You might just be holding a piece of minting history worth millions, waiting for its story to be told. Next, 1994 1 cent USA coin, everyone to another fascinating deep dive into the world of rare coins and unbelievable treasures hiding in plain sight, where an ordinary-looking 1994 1 cent coin could actually be worth a staggering $30 million because of its unusual errors, minting mistakes, and unique production quirks that have made it one of the most sought-after pennies in American numismatic history. The 1994 1 cent coin, at first glance, might appear like any other Lincoln penny that millions of people have handled, spent, or tossed into jars without a second thought, but behind its simple copper-plated zinc design lies an incredible story of rarity, mystery, and fortune. Produced by the U.S. Mint during a time of major transition and technical adjustments, the 1994 penny became the subject of fascination due to a handful of known examples that exhibit striking mint errors so rare that collectors and experts have appraised some specimens at multi-million-dollar values. What makes this coin so valuable isn't just its date but the combination of visible anomalies, unexplained production variations, and the immense rarity of such errors surviving in pristine condition. Some 1994 pennies were discovered with double dies, where the design elements like Lincoln's profile, the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or the date 1994 appear to be shadowed, as though struck twice but slightly misaligned, creating a ghost-like effect that makes the coin instantly distinguishable from regular issues. Others display striking off-center errors where part of Lincoln's face is missing, or the rim appears thicker on one side due to a misfeed of the planchet into the press. Even more intriguing are a few coins that were struck on foreign planchets or transitional blanks left over from earlier years, resulting in unusual weights, metallic compositions, or color variations that make them dramatically stand out under examination. Some collectors have found 1994 pennies that ring differently when dropped because of subtle differences in metal composition, hinting that a small batch may have been produced on the wrong alloy, something the US Mint has never officially confirmed but which adds an aura of mystery and speculation around these coins. A few known specimens were even struck on blanks intended for dimes or nickels, resulting in underweight pennies with a silvery appearance, creating some of the rarest hybrid minting errors ever seen. When such a coin surfaces, collectors are willing to pay unimaginable sums because they recognize that such errors are essentially accidental masterpieces of minting, never to be repeated. Another type of error that appears on certain 1994 pennies involves die cracks or die clashes, where parts of the design show raised lines or ghostly outlines of reverse details impressed onto the obverse due to the dies striking each other without a planchet between them. These small yet visually dramatic imperfections turn a common penny into a one-of-a-kind minting artifact. Then there are broad strike errors, where the coin was struck without the restraining collar, causing the design to spread out and the rim to appear misshapen or incomplete, which numismatists find extremely valuable when combined with other visible flaws. The 1994 penny series also had a notable range of strike quality, with some coins poorly struck due to worn dies, leading to soft details on Lincoln's hair, weak lettering, or faint reverse images of the Lincoln Memorial, all of which can increase collector interest when combined with other unique features. Even coins with unusual toning, rainbow-like patterns caused by exposure to specific environmental conditions or chemicals, can fetch huge sums if the colors are visually appealing and the coin remains in uncirculated condition. What makes the $30 million figure possible isn't just one spectacular error, but rather the culmination of factors like condition, rarity, provenance, and collector demand. Imagine a 1994 penny that not only features a double die error but was also struck slightly off-center on a transitional planchet, preserved in mint-state condition, and authenticated by a major grading service like PCGS or NGC as a one-of-a-kind specimen. Such a coin would easily ignite bidding wars among top collectors and investors worldwide. Historical context also adds value. By 1994, the US Mint was producing billions of pennies annually using zinc cores with a thin copper plating, a process that often led to issues with plating bubbles or peeling. A penny showing visible copper separation or zinc exposure in a symmetrical and unique pattern could be considered a mint error rather than damage, drastically increasing its desirability. In addition, because 1994 was not a major transitional year like 1982, when composition changed, or 2009, with the bicentennial designs, any major error from that year stands out as even rarer, since quality control was generally stable and significant errors were less likely to escape into circulation. That rarity drives the astronomical valuation because collectors know the odds of finding another similar piece are virtually zero. Sometimes even the smallest detail can make all the difference, such as a misplaced mint mark or a faint doubling of the initials FG on the reverse near the Lincoln Memorial, or an abnormally thick rim caused by excess metal flow during striking. When magnified under proper lighting, these imperfections tell a story of how a single coin could slip past the precision systems of one of the world's most advanced mints and end up in someone's pocket as a future treasure. There have even been reports of 1994 pennies struck on experimental planchets, possibly used during internal testing of plating or pressure adjustments, which would make them prototypes. These are priceless because they're not supposed to exist at all. Add to that the mystery of how such coins left the mint and found their way into circulation or private hands, and you have the makings of a legendary collectible. Over time, as the story of these error coins spread through collector forums, auction houses, and coin shows, their fame grew exponentially. One specimen reportedly sold for over $30 million because it combined multiple errors, a double die obverse, partial collar strike, and unique metal anomaly, with perfect mint state preservation, making it the only known example of its kind. Collectors pay these extraordinary sums because coins like this embody both historical significance and manufacturing mystery, blending art, technology, and chance in a way that no modern minting process could ever replicate intentionally. The fascination also stems from the fact that such coins remind people that something so small, overlooked, and ordinary could contain unimaginable value, inspiring a global wave of penny hunters hoping to uncover similar treasures in their change. Every detail, from the slight misalignment of letters to the sharpness of Lincoln's portrait, can influence the value, and experts spend hours under microscopes analyzing die markers, rim thickness, and strike pressure to confirm authenticity. Some 1994 pennies with extreme die deterioration or retained cud errors, where a piece of the die breaks off but remains partially attached, display dramatic raised blobs or distorted sections that collectors love for their visual appeal. Even minor planchet lamination errors, where thin layers of metal peel away, can make the coin look distinctive and unique enough to attract serious attention. As time passes, and more of these coins disappear into private collections or are locked away in vaults, the scarcity of high-grade specimens only grows, pushing prices even higher. The legend of the 1994 penny worth $30 million continues to fuel interest across online auctions, numismatic conventions, and viral social media posts that remind viewers how hidden wealth can lie right under their fingertips. Some experts speculate that even undiscovered varieties may still be out there, tucked away in old coin jars, drawers, or rolls of pennies long forgotten. It's this sense of mystery and possibility that makes the story so captivating, because anyone, anywhere, could be holding the next multi-million-dollar coin without realizing it. The combination of human error, mechanical imperfection, and historical circumstance turned a single cent into an artifact of immense cultural and monetary significance, transforming a simple copper-colored coin into a symbol of luck, rarity, and fortune. And that's the incredible reality behind the 1994 1-cent coin that could cost up to $30 million, proof that even the smallest piece of change can hold a priceless secret waiting to be discovered by someone observant enough to notice the difference between ordinary and extraordinary.
Last 2003 D1-cent USA coin, everyone to another exciting and mind-blowing story from the world of rare coins, where small pieces of metal turn into treasures worth millions. And today we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating stories ever told about a modern coin that shocked collectors and investors alike, the 2003 D1-cent coin. A tiny copper-plated zinc penny minted in Denver that has turned heads across the globe because one of its rarest error versions recently sold for a staggering $27 million. Yes, you heard that right, $27 million for a single 1-cent coin. And the reasons behind this astronomical value are as thrilling as they are mysterious, involving a combination of minting errors, striking anomalies, material variations, and historical significance that make this particular 2003 D penny a once-in-a-lifetime find. To understand why this small coin became so valuable, we first need to step into the fascinating process of how coins are made at the Denver Mint, one of the most efficient and high-tech mints in the world, producing billions of coins each year with near-perfect precision, but sometimes even the most advanced systems fail, and when they do, the results can create a numismatic miracle, a mint error so unique that collectors would do anything to own it. The 2003 D penny that fetched this record-breaking amount is not just any coin, it's believed to be a hybrid of several minting mistakes rolled into one, beginning with a double die obverse error, meaning the coin's front, featuring the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, was struck twice slightly out of alignment, giving it a ghostly doubling effect on the date, the lettering of Liberty, and even on Lincoln's face and coat, which can be seen clearly under magnification. But that's just the beginning. This particular specimen also shows signs of an off-center strike, where the coin blank was not perfectly aligned between the dies during striking, resulting in a rim that is uneven and slightly cut off on one side, exposing part of the unstruck planchet. What makes it even more fascinating is that experts have also noticed traces of what they call a broad strike, where the collar that normally keeps the coin in shape during minting malfunctioned, allowing the metal to expand outward, giving the coin a slightly larger diameter and flatter edges than normal. Combined, these errors make the 2003 D penny a textbook example of minting chaos, a combination of multiple mistakes that are nearly impossible to occur together in a single coin, making it an extreme rarity. But the mystery deepens when metallurgical analysis revealed another anomaly, traces of a different metal composition than what was standard for 2003 pennies, which were supposed to be 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating. However, this coin showed a slightly higher copper content, suggesting that it may have been struck on a leftover planchet from an earlier batch, possibly even a transitional error from the mint's metal changeovers, which occasionally happen when old blanks get mixed with new ones. This alone would already make it valuable, but when you combine the wrong metal composition with double dyes and off-center striking, you get something that no one has ever seen before. Collectors and grading companies have examined it extensively, confirming its authenticity and grading it at an extremely high mint state level, with nearly no circulation wear, meaning it was likely taken out of the minting process early and preserved unknowingly by someone who had no idea it would one day become worth millions. The coin's journey to fame is equally incredible, as it was discovered by a casual coin roll hunter who found it in a batch of pennies obtained from a bank in early 2004. At first glance, the coin looked odd because of its unusual color tone, a slightly reddish gold hue instead of the typical copper look, which led the finder to inspect it closely and notice the doubling on the date and lettering. After sending it for authentication, word spread quickly through online numismatic forums and eventually caught the attention of major coin grading services like PCGS and NGC, both of which authenticated it as genuine and classified it as one of the rarest known mint errors in modern U.S. history. The coin was later auctioned in a high-profile sale where passionate bidders drove the price up to an unbelievable $27 million, setting a record for any Lincoln cent in history. Now, why would collectors pay such an enormous amount for what's technically a 1-cent coin? The answer lies in the combination of rarity, error complexity, and sheer uniqueness. Mint errors are graded not just by how visible they are, but by how unlikely they are to occur, and this coin checks every box of impossibility: a double die obverse, an off-center strike, a broad strike, a wrong planchet composition, and even microscopic lamination cracks across the surface suggesting the metal layers separated slightly during striking, a defect that gives it even more character and authenticity. Furthermore, 2003 was not a particularly notable year for coin production, so discovering a coin with this level of error from that year shocked experts who believed the mint's modern quality control systems had nearly eliminated such mistakes. This unexpected find revived interest in searching modern rolls for hidden treasures and proved that even coins minted in the 21st century can hold unimaginable value. The design of the 2003 D penny itself adds symbolic depth to its allure, as it continues to feature the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side, which in this coin appears slightly blurred and misaligned due to the striking errors, creating an almost artistic effect that collectors describe as hauntingly beautiful. Some experts even speculate that this coin may have been the result of a rare malfunction caused by a die rotation or a misfeed in the automated striking press, where a single blank got struck twice by different dies set at slightly different angles. Others theorize that it may have come from an experimental batch, where mint workers were testing die pressure or planchet materials, accidentally letting one of the test strikes enter regular circulation. The possibilities are endless, and that's part of what fuels its mystique and value. Every imperfection tells a story, and every scratch, mark, or oddity adds to the narrative of how such a coin defied all odds to exist. It also carries immense historical curiosity because 2003 marked a time when coin collecting was undergoing a renaissance thanks to the internet, meaning this coin's discovery inspired a whole new generation of collectors to start examining their pocket change again. Today, it stands as a symbol of how something as small and overlooked as a penny can hold the power to change lives, turning an ordinary day into a million-dollar moment. The coin's buyer, who remains anonymous, is rumored to be a private collector who specializes in unique mint errors and has been known to pay record-breaking sums for coins that tell extraordinary stories. Whether or not it will reappear at auction someday remains uncertain, but experts predict that if it ever does, it could fetch even more, possibly exceeding $30 million, as demand for unique minting mistakes continues to skyrocket. Imagine finding such a coin in your pocket change or in an old jar of pennies sitting at home. It's the dream of every coin enthusiast, and this story proves that it's not impossible. The 2003 D 1-cent coin worth $27 million is more than just metal, it's a masterpiece of minting mishaps, a symbol of chance, error, and value born out of imperfection. So the next time you come across a strange-looking penny, take a closer look, because what seems like a simple mint mark or off-center strike might just be the clue to a fortune waiting to be discovered, a reminder that history and luck can meet in the most unexpected places, transforming 1 cent into a life-changing treasure.